The moment your eyes met mine, the air forgot its name. The sky blinked in hesitation and time skipped a frame. I wasn't looking for heaven, but it arrived uninvited, tracing galaxies on the back of my hand where your pulse ignited. Your silence spoke like scripture, your laugh rewrote my sins. I thought love was a fever, but it burned me clean within. Every thought I own unspooled like a ribbon set on fire. And reason drowned beneath the flood of something higher. You are every language I never learned but somehow understand. The chaos I crave, the calm I demand. My logic broke its mirrors, my past tore off its skin. I am everything I feared and loved, all folded in. You don't exist as a person, you exist as a phenomenon, an unfinished dream that refuses to be gone. When I look at you, even silence kneels. The stars dim their light to see how truth feels.
The world keeps spinning its indifferent tune, but I only orbit the gravity of you. I have written prayers on sleepless walls. I've heard my breath echo through empty halls. Love is not gentle, it's divine warfare, where surrender is victory and pain is repair. You are the wound and the cure, the myth and the proof, the storm in my chest tearing off the roof.
Your touch makes time dissolve like sugar and rain, sweet until gone, leaving soft ache and stain. Every second near you feels illegally bright, as if existence broke curfew to bask in the light. Even my demons hum when you're near, they've learned new melodies from your whisper spear. Every scar in me realigns like constellations finally making sense of the signs. You are gravity disguised as grace, you pull me toward my own displaced face. You are the reason ink refuses to dry. For every poem I write reopens why I never needed religion until I saw your breath, how it baptizes air and resurrects death. If I am fire, you are the field I burn because you yield when you leave. The walls still echo your verbs, my ribs become instruments, my heart disturbs. I try to forget, but memory licks my wounds, each one spelling your name in soft runes. Even distance becomes you, every mile a memory that hums your hue. You are not absence, you are space rewritten in tenderness and grace. Love is not found, it's endured, and you are proof that ruin can be pure. You walk through my mind like smoke through glass, changing shape but never letting the moment pass. Even in silence I hear your refrain, like thunder pretending to be rain. If this ends, let the stars testify. I did not live, I loved, and that's why I'll die.
But maybe love doesn't end, it transforms and persists. Maybe I'll never be free, maybe I never exist, because freedom without you feels like a myth I resist, and I am only real while you exist.